All right. Namo namah sarvebhyah Sanskrit bhasha shikshane bhavatam hardam swagatam. So today we are going to start a new topic which is called Krit Pratyayahas, Krit suffixes. So Saraswati namastubhyam Varde Kamarupani Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. So I'm going to give an overview of additional suffixes. So this you all know that as mentioned earlier, every padam, meaning word in Sanskrit, is comprised of two basic components, prakritihi and a suffix called pratyayah. So prakritihi plus pratyayah results into a padam. So there are two kinds of prakritihi, pratipadikam and a dhatuhu. There are 6 kinds of suffixes, sup, ting, krit, tadhita, stri, and sanadi. So these two suffixes, sup and ting, we have already studied. So there are 2 kinds of padam, nama padam, name forms, and kriya padam, verb forms. So nama padam are formed by adding sup suffixes to the pratipadikam or the nominal stem. So there are 24 such sup pratyayas. So pratipadikam plus sup results into a nama padam. Kriya padam or verb forms are formed by adding ting pratyayas to the dhatu. So dhatuhu plus ting results into a kriya padam. And there are 18 ting suffixes, 9 for parasmai padi dhatuhu and 9 for atmane padi dhatuhu. So this we know, like we have studied, that a pratipadikam plus sup results into a subantam, sup plus antam, where pa becomes a ba. So all the words which end in a sup pratyayas are called subantam or namapadam. And then to a dhatuhu, if you add a ting pratyaya, you get a tigantam. The verbs which end into a ting pratyayas are called tigantam or kriyapadam. So today we are going to talk in more detail that to a dhatuhu, if you add a krit pratyaya or a krit suffix, then you could get a new pratipadikam or a new indeclinable, which is avayam. So this is what we are going to talk about today. And just I'm going to give a brief overview of the other suffixes. To a pratipadikam, if you add a tadhita pratyaya, you get a new pratipadikam. So new pratipadikams or nominal stems are formed by adding tadhita pratyayas to a pratipadikam. And then stri pratyayas are added to a masculine pratipadikam to get the feminine forms. And then you have to a pratipadikam or a dhatu, if you add sanadi suffixes, then you get new dhatus. So once here, if you get a new pratipadikam, then you could add the sup pratyayas and get the name forms, like in these 3 cases. And to a dhatuhu, you will add a ting pratyayas to get a new verb forms. So let me just talk briefly about the tadhita pratyayas. So this is added to a pratipadikam to get a new pratipadikam. The new pratipadikam, which ends in a tadhita pratyaya, is called tadhitantah. The words which end in the tadhita pratyaya. There are few hundred of these pratyayas. For example, if you take a pratipadikam pandu, It is an U ending Pratipadikam. And if you add this Tadhita, then you get Pandava. You get a new Pratipadikam, Pandava, which means son of Pandu. Now, Pandava is an A ending masculine Pratipadikam. So it will have 24 name forms. So now if you take a Pratipadikam Kunti and you add a Tadhita Dhak, then the resulting Pratipadikam would be Kaunteya, son of Kunti. Again, Kaunteya is a ending masculine Pratipadikam, and it will decline like an ending masculine Pratipadikam. Stri pratyayas, there are few of them, and they are used to make feminine forms, Strilinga, of the masculine Pullinga forms. So, for example, Aja. Aja means a male goat. And if you add a Stri pratyaya tap, then the resulting nominal stem is Aja, a female goat. So, from Balaka, a masculine, you add again a tap and you get Balika, a girl. Mushaka, a male mouse, and you add tap, you get Mushika, a female mouse. Kakaha, a masculine Pratipadika, meaning a crow, and if you add Neep to it, you get Kaki, which is a female crow. Sanadi suffixes, there are a total of 12 suffixes. The first one Adi in the group is called San, and that's why it's got the name Sanadi. San plus Adi, like Sun and extra 11 suffixes. So therefore, these suffixes are called Sanadi. They are added to both dhatus and the Pratipadikas. So the derived roots are called Sanadyanta Dhatuhu, roots ending in the Sanadi suffixes. So for example, if you take the root Gya, which means to know, and you add a Sanadi suffix San, then the resulting root is Jigyasa, a desire to know. So this is a new root, and it will conjugate. Kra, you add a suffix, Sanadi suffix Nich, it means Kari, a new root, and to make somebody do something. Now, if you add a Sanadi Pratyaya Kyach to the Pratipadikam Putra, you get a new root, which is Putriya, to desire a son. So Sanadi Pratyayas are added to both roots and a nominal stem, and you get new roots. So this was an overview of these, the other suffixes, Tadhita, Stri, and Sanadi. Sup and Ting we have already studied. So now we will study the Krit suffixes. And Krit suffixes are added to a root to get a new Pratipadikam or a Avvaya. Okay, so Krit Pratyayas, Krit suffixes. This is a very important and a vast topic. You will see it's used all the time, but it consists of also many rules. So there are more than 100 of these Krit suffixes, and we'll study only 7 of them. These are the most commonly used, these 7 suffixes. Krit Pratyayas is added to a dhatu to create a new Pratipadikam. The new Pratipadikam, which ends with a Krit Pratyaya, is called a Kridantaha. Krit plus Antaha. So the Ta becomes a Dakara, that's why it is Kridantaha. Krit plus Antaha. The Pratipadikam which end in the Krit suffixes. The resulting Kridantas are nouns and adjectives. We will see that when we in the next few graphs. Sup Pratyayas. Now, once you have a new Pratipadikam, then you could add the sup pratyas to these kridantas to form the name forms. And in some cases, they also form indeclinables or avyayas. So few examples of the krit pratyas when added to the root pat. So you take the dhatu pat and you add a krit pratyaya lyut. And this simplifies, and the resulting new pratipadikam is pathan. It is a neuter pratipadikam. So in the sentence you will say pathanam karoti. So it's similar to pathati, does the reading. So the new from pat, you make adding a krit suffix, you make a new pratipadikam, which is pathan. So pathanam karoti. Now, if you add this nuvul to the pat, you get the resulting nominal stem as pathaka, masculine. Pathaka means the one who reads. So the sentence, in a sentence, it will be something like this. Pathakaha pustakam pathati. The reader reads a book. So pat, if you add another krit pratyaya, then the resulting will be pathitva. Now this is an avyaya. This will not decline. It will remain the same in all the three vachanam and the cases. So saha pustakam pathitva gachati. So pathitva is kind of having done something. So having read the book, he goes. Saha pustakam pathitva means having read. So having read the book, saha gachati. He goes. This one we are going to talk in more detail. The next one is patha plus tumun. And again, we will see why, from adding this thing, why it is pathitva, where does the ka went and so on. So we will just study that later. So pat plus tumun, the resulting pratipadikam is pathitum. Not pratipadikam, sorry, avyayam. So this is saha pustakam pathitum ichhati, like when you wish something. So he wishes to read. So pathitum means to read, and ichhati, he wishes to read a book, right? Then another krit pratyaya is aniyar. And if you add pat, add it to the pat dhatu, then the resulting pratipadikam is patniya, which is a masculine pratipadikam. Maya patniyaha, should be read by me. This is always used in a karmani prayoga. And it is something like a vidhilik. So should be read by me. Then if you add kat to it, then you have pathit, ten pathaha pathitaha. A lesson was read by him. Again, this is a past tense, karmani, passive voice. Then this one, if you add pat, you have pathitvat. This is these two are used in past. So these, I will tell you which six. So like we're going to study this one, this one, this one, this. So like these are the more commonly used krit pratyaya. So pat, if you add a shatra pratipadikam, you get the resulting pratipadikam is pathat. So like pathan balah khadati, the playing boy eats, or the boy who is playing eats. So these are some examples of the what are the resulting pratipadikam or avyayam when you add the krit suffixes to a dhatu pat. So before we go into krit pratyaya, I'm going to talk about the it letters. See, for example, so the it letters, because this is very important that in all the pratyayas, there are it letters. So what are these it letters? The extra letters attached to a pratyaya are called it or indicatory letters, which indicate the changes the dhatu or the nominal stem must go. So it depends what is the it letter, and then there are rules like what changes will happen to the dhatu or the nominal stem. they vanish during their use. For example, if you look at this thing, tumun, the it letters are u and a na, and the final form is only tum. That's why you had a patitum, like, all these vanishes. And there are about six or seven Panini rules which define that what is an it letter. So the last consonant in a suffix is a it letter. So for example, in the suffix anir, r would be your it letter. So the resulting, the form left will be only aniya. Ra will be your it. So any varna of the ka varga, cha varga, ta varga, la, sha, and sha in the beginning of a suffix are it letters. For example, in katwa, ka is an it letter. Or in tumun, first of all, na is a it letter and ta is a it letter because it belongs to, no, sorry, ta is not an it letter. It's only the ka varga, cha varga, and cha varga. And anunasika swaras are it letters. For example, in tumun, this u, it has an anunasika, so that is an it letter. So let me go this one more time. It letters are the extra letters attached to a suffix, and they vanish during their use. But they have a purpose to serve in a manner that they tell us what the dhatu and the pratipadikam must go. For example, if there is a ka is an it letter, then there will be no guna. So there are rules depending which is an it letter. So the last consonant in a suffix is a it letter. So for example, in this suffix, aniyar, ra is the it letter. So any varna of the ka varga, like the 5 letters of the cha varga, ta varga, la, sha, and sha in the beginning of a suffix are all it letters. So for example, in katwa, ka, this ka belongs to the ka varga. So this is an it letter and only twa will remain. Then anunasika swaraha are it letters. So for example, in kavatuhu, this here, this is an it letter. So let's look at, so these are the krit pratyas which we are going to study in detail. So tumun, so ta doesn't go, is a it, and na is the ending consonant, so that is an it letter. So out of tumun, and na are it letters, and the final form is tum. In katwa, ka is an it letter, so the final form remains will be twa. Liya, la, because la here is in the beginning, la is an it letter. The ending halanta is the consonant is a it letter, so only ya remains. Shatra, here this anunasika is an it letter, so this is an it letter, and sha is also an it letter, so only a and a ta remains. So sha is sha and an and this the tra. So sorry, here it should be, so here it would be a and a ta, at. The final form is at. Shanach, again, sha is an it letter. Cha, the ending consonant, is an it letter. So the remaining form is an, left. Kavatuhu is again, ka is an it letter. Is an it letter. So ta, va, and ta, so tawat remains. Kata, ka is an it letter, so only ta remains. So in these 7 Krit Pratyas which we are going to study, these are the original suffixes, but after removing the it letters, these are the final forms. Then there is another thing which will come in this, is called an e-agamaha, the arrival of the vowel e. So what is an arrival of any letter? Agamaha means arrival or an additional letter. Agama is an additional letter to an entity such as a suffix or a root without adding any meaning. So for example, like in Dhatu Kosha, you have seen that the roots are set, anit, and vet. So now I'm going to tell you what is set dhatu or a set suffix means. Set means that this dhatu will have an e agamaha. So if the dhatu has an e agamaha, like if an additional e is added to it, then it is called a set dhatu. Anit means no e agamaha. And vet means optional e agamaha. So set dhatu means e agamaha, anit means no e agamaha, and vet means optional e agama. So the dhatus are classified as set, anit, and vet. Then Krit suffixes are also of 2 kinds. They are set and anit. This is additional, all right. So the roots are of 3 kinds, set, anit, and vet. And they are indicated in the dhatu patha. So now when you are adding a suffix to the root, you have to see whether the root is set, anit, or vet, and whether the pratyaya is set or anit. So when will this e, additional e, will be added? It will be only added when the dhatu is set and the pratyaya is also set. So, and if it is a set pratyaya, but an anit dhatuhu, then there will be no, in these 3 cases, there will be no, e will not be added between the root and the pratyayas. And vet means if it is optional. So for example, let us look at the dhatu pat. This will be clear in a second. Like when I give you more examples, it will be clear. So let me just show you here. So here, these, the ones in green, are your set pratyayas. So tumun, katva, tavaktuhu, and ta are the set pratyayas. And liyak, shatra, and shanach are your anit pratyayas. So, so if you add a dhatu which is a set and you add a tumun pratyaya, then e will enter. So let's go back to the previous one. So now let's look at pat, the dhatu pat. And you want to add a Krit suffix tumun, which after removing the it letters becomes tum. And tumun is a set pratyaya. So now the dhatu, and pat dhatu is 1p and is also set. So both the suffix and the dhatu are set. So e will be inserted between the dhatu and the pratyaya. So pat plus tumun. So tumun is a set pratyaya, and it simplifies after removing the it letters to tum. Pat is a set dhatu. So you have both the dhatu and the pratyaya are set. So e will be inserted between the dhatu pat and the pratyaya tum. Tumun simplifies to tum. So that's why you have patitum. So let me go through this one more time. E agamaha. many dhatus and pratyas take e agama. Agama means an additional letter, like arrival of a new letter. Like there are many, like it's just not e. It's like ta and ma. So the other letters are all agamas also. But in here in the krit pratyas, this e agama is very important. So now the dhatus are of three kinds: set, anit, and wait. Set simply means that this dhatu can have a e agama. Anit means no e agama. And wait, it is optional. And pratyas, krit pratyas are of two kinds: set, anit, set and anit. And if both the dhatu and the suffixes are set, then the e comes between the dhatu and the suffix. So for example, dhatu pat is a set dhatu, and tumun pratyaya is also a set pratyaya. So therefore, an e will come between the dhatu and the pratyaya. Tumun, after removing the it letters, becomes tum. So pat plus e plus tum becomes pathitum. Now, if you take the dhatu pa means to drink. Pa is an anit dhatu. So now it is like the dhatu is anit, but the pratyaya is set, but there will be no e agama. So this will be the case. So this will be just patum. There will be no e here. Now you take the dhatu sid. Sid is a 1p, wait to rule. Again, it will be, but here what happens is that there will be no e agama here also, because this is a wait and it is a set pratyaya, but this C takes a guna. That's why it is sedhutum. So we're going to come when we study tumun, then you will be able to see that, like what takes the guna and so on. So this is the e agama. So here, let me go. It letters and e agamas are important when adding krit suffixes to the dhatu. So it letters are just indicatory letters which vanish during their use, but they tell us what the dhatu and the pratipadikam, what changes they will undergo. Okay, so we are going to study these 6 krit suffixes. Tumun, and so in today's class, we are going to study these 3, tumun, katva, and liya. So 2 of them are set pratyayas, and liya is a anit pratyaya. So tumun pratyaya. So after the it letters, u, which is anunasika, and na is the ending consonant. So these are the 2 it letters. So the final form is just tu and a ma, tum. So when is tumun pratyaya used? Is used to express the sense of wish or the intention to do something. And the guna, and when you're using tumun pratyaya, the guna of ending vowels and the short medial vowel. So the ending vowel and the short medial vowel takes the guna, and it is an avvaya. So now I'm going to give you some examples where e agamaha happens. So balaha pathitum vidyalayam gachati. The boy goes to school to read or to study. Pathitum. So pathitum vidyalayam, right? So it goes, he has a wish to go to study. So again, this we have done seen before, pat, and then since pat is set, tumun is set, you have an e agama, which is pathitum. Now let's look at another example. Aham uttamaha chhatraha bhavitum Ichchami. Sorry, there is a typo error. This should be ichchami. So I want to be a good student. So bhav, bhavitum, this is a tumun form. So bhavitum comes from the root bhu, which means to become, and it is a set dhatu. So how is this form bhavitum comes about? So bhu, so e will be inserted between bhu and tum. So bhu plus e plus tum. Now bhu will take a guna. So it becomes bho plus e plus tum, right? Now o and e, this is an ayadi sandhi. O becomes av. So bha plus av plus e plus tum. So it becomes bhavitum, right? So here the e agama happens. Te kriditum udyanam gachanti. So they go to the garden to play. Again, krid is a set dhatu. So then therefore you have krid plus e plus tum, it becomes kriditum. Saha khaditum agachat. He went to eat. Khad is again a set dhatu. So khad plus e plus tum becomes khaditum. Aham Sanskrita bhashayam patram lekhitum ichchami. I want to write a letter in Sanskrit. Sanskrit bhashayam. This is a saptami vibhakti. Sanskrita bhasha is your pratipadikam and yam is your saptami ekavachanam in the Sanskrit language. Lekhitum, the root is lik. It is a 6p. Again, it is a set. So here two things happen. First of all, e is your medial vowel. So it takes a guna, so it becomes lek. And then you add, it is a set dhatu, so you add the e to it and it becomes lekhitum. So guna of the medial vowel. So I want to write a letter in Sanskrit. Now this is an example from Gita, chapter 2, verse 26. Na evam shochitum arhasi. Arhasi, the verb is arha, is a 1p meaning eligible. But this doesn't have a this one. Tumun pratyaya. The shochitum is the tum. So the root here is shuch. It is a 1p. This is a set dhatu. Shuch. So shochitum becomes the medial vowel takes the guna, so it becomes sho, and then you add the e to it because it is a set. That's why the form shochitum. So not entitled to grieve. Na shochitum, to grieve in this manner. Then, now these were all parasmaipadi dhatu so far. Now let's take an example of an atmanepadi dhatu. Gurum sevitum balah ashramam agachat. To serve the teacher, the boy went to the ashrama. So gurum, this is in Dutiya Vibhakti Ekavachana. Gurum sevitum, to serve. Now save is your this thing, root. It is an atmanepada, but it is a set. So you have save plus e plus tum. So sevitum. Now let's look at the roots where there is no e agama. So here all the roots will be anit because the pratyaya is, tumun is set. So for e agama not to happen, the roots have to be anit. So the first will be, let's say, shru. This is an anit dhatu. So that's why it takes the guna, but there will be no e. So you will have shrotum. So adhyapakasya vachanani shrotum chhatraha tasya samipam, asidat. Asidat is a past form. So to hear, shrotum, to hear the teacher's words, the student sat close to him. Asidat, the root is sat, means to sit. So shru is one P anit. It takes the guna, but there is no E added. Shrotum. Sahakaryam karutum nagaram gachati. He goes to city to work. The root is kra, to do. It is an anit dhatu. But kra will take the guna. That's why you have karutum. He goes to city to work. Tip. Now this is an atmanepadi dhatu. Means to sprinkle. It is an anit dhatu. So tip will take the guna. A. So that's why you have te tum. Right? Sah udyanam jalam te tum. He goes to the garden to sprinkle water. Phalani kretum aparnam gachati. He goes to the shop to buy fruits. Again, kri. So you have kretum. Right? This is an anit dhatu. Then patum. You know, again, anit. I'm going home to drink milk. Aham dugdam patum graham gachami. Now there are some, irregular rules. For example, gai, which is an anit dhatu, but gai becomes ga. So it will be gatum. It won't be gaitum. So these are your, there are a number of them. So this is your irregular rule. Bala, balaha, gatum, icchanti. The visarga drops here because it is preceded by a long ah. The girls want to sing. Now, for the root gum, again, this is an irregular. The gum ma takes the changes into no. So it's not gamtum, it is gantum. So pita gramam gantum ichhati. Father wants to go to the village. So there are a number of these irregular roots. So I've just given you 2 of them. Oh no, I've given some more here. All right. Mata paktum ichhati. Now, the dhatu is pach. So the mother wants to cook. So paktum, pach becomes paktum. So pach plus tum. So there is a sandhi going on, which is 8.20. So the cha becomes a ka. So it becomes paktum. So the tumun form of pach is paktum. Now, this one I just wanted to, because this is used quite often, drishtum, like you will see in Gita and elsewhere. And the dhatu is drish, and here is drashtum. So this you should know. And that's why I'm going to go in a little bit more detail. So tasya mata drishtum balah agachat. The boy came to see his mother. So dhatu is drish. So here, this is drush. This is a ra here. But here is drashtum. It is a ra here. So it is, you have to be, careful here. So this is so how drish, the tuman form is drishtum. How this, what are the rules which are applied here? So you have drish plus tum, right? So there are 2 rules which apply here, which I'm not going to go. So this ra becomes dra. So that's one rule. So this will, ra becomes a ra, refa, dra, dra, right? Then you have, so now you take this form. So you have drash plus tum. Then the sha becomes a sha here. And again, by this rule. So you have drash plus tum. There should be a plus here. And this sha becomes a drash plus tum. Ta becomes a ta. Again, this rule. So the drush becomes drashtum. And like this, you should know, that drush is the tuman form is drashtum. And these are the rules which apply to get this form here. Now, if the rules are from 10th Gana, then something, additional thing is also happening. For example, you add a san pratyaya before you add the tum pratyaya for all the roots in the 10th Gana. So, choraha, graham, dhanam, and the chur dhatu, how it becomes choryatum, we'll just go into the detail. Agachat, the thief comes to the house to steal the money. So let's look how this form becomes. So first you add chur plus ri. Now here only e remains because the ch goes away, ra goes away. These are it letters and only e remains. So remember in Sanadi, when we were talking about to a dhatu, you add a Sanadi pratyaya and you get a new root. Remember that? Let me go back to that first. So nich is a Sanadi pratyaya. So to a root, if you add a Sanadi pratyaya, you get a new root. And that is what is happening here. Here. So this was a root chur. This is a 10th guna root. And you add a Sanadi pratyaya nich. And this nich, after removing the it letters, only e remains. So chur plus e. This u will take the guna. So it becomes chori. Chori. So your new root is chori. This is a casual, making somebody like chori. So this is a new root. Right. So now you have chori, and then you add, it is a set dhatu, and you add the tum to it. So chori plus e plus tum. This is the ending vowel, e. So this takes a guna, chore plus e plus tum. And here you have a ayadi sandhi, a and e, aya plus tum. And that's why the form choreyatum. That's the final form. So again, this, if you take the root here, balaha tasya janakam katham kathayatum. So this is again, katha is a 10th guna root. So the boy wishes to tell a story to his father. So you take the root katha, you add the nich pratyaya because it is from 10th gana, and then you have katha plus e, so you have kathi. So from katha, this root, you get a new root, kathi. And then you add kathi plus e plus tum. This takes the guna, kathe plus e plus tum, and then, aya and all, ayadi sandhi, and you get the form kathyayitum. So from the 10th gana, this is the form you have. Okay. Any questions before I go to these, because there was a lot new stuff covered.
Kumuji, on a few slides,
Okay. Which one?
Let's see, if you go back to, for example, number 10.
Okay. Yeah.
So, let's see, was it number 10? No, sorry, not number 10. No, sorry, not number 10. Please go next slide.
11.
One second.
Before 10, maybe you're looking at 9.
No. One where the thing got modified. I wanted to understand why that modification happened. Actually, go to the next slide. Maybe it will come next slide. 1 second.
This one?
No, not that one. That one I understood. That's a guna.
Okay, why don't I go from the beginning? Okay.
So yeah, this is all straightforward. Yeah, it's all fine. Yeah, no,
This is
not
7,
yeah, this is fine. This is fine.
8,
No, this is fine. No, this is fine. I think it comes later then.
10,
No, not 10, because 10, yeah, okay.
11.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, now I understood. It is all guna.
Yeah. Like in when you are talking about tumun pratyaya, then you have to remember that this thing, the ending vowel and the so in tumun pratyaya there are three things one has to watch out. One is the ending vowel and the medial vowel is going to take a guna.
Okay.
And third, if the dhatu is set, because tumun itself is a set pratyaya. So if a dhatu is set, then e will come between the dhatu and tum. So this is the third thing. And the fourth thing, if the dhatu is from the 10th gana, then you have to add this, like e, you have to add a nich pratyaya to form a new dhatu, and then you add the tum pratyaya.
Okay, and as far as the guna thing for the medial and final,
it will happen here too.
Yeah, here also it happened, but in the previous one, does that medial vowel have to be a short medial vowel?
Previous, which one?
Not this one. If you go back one more. Okay, yeah, stop here. For example, creed. You see, creed doesn't change, but lik is a short. For example, lekitum.
No, so here the vowel, here there was no guna. See, creeditum, this is only e agama take place. So right, like creed doesn't become cray because it is a long medial vowel.
Exactly, I got it. Thank you. That's it.
Like those rules, so the only the ending and the short medial vowel will take the guna. If it is long, it will not take a guna.
Got it. Thank you.
So that's why it is not creditum. It is creditum right here.
That's right.
Here. But here in lik, it will take the guna because it's a short. So that's why you have lekhitum.
Perfect. Understood.
And like in shuch, you have a short. That's why you have shochitum.
Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions before? Well, I just introduce it, and then we'll go it in the next class. So any more questions? Because there were a number of new things like it and e agama and so on. So, and if it's not clear, please ask any questions. Okay, so I'm just going to introduce, like I'll just do it in 5 minutes and then we'll cover this later. So now there are two pratyayas, katwa and liyap. So this one is anit. Liyap is an anit. And katwa is a set. So here, ka, because it is the beginning, ka varga, so this is an it letter. So the only thing remaining is twa. Liyap, again, la, beginning. So this is an it. Pa, ending consonant is a it. So only ya remains. Now, see, I mentioned before that the it letters has certain rules in it. So if the pratyaya has a kit, like a ka as a it, then no guna takes place. So these are the rules. Like there are many, many rules. So I just want to mention, couple of them. So in katwa, no guna will take place. All right. So these both pratyayas are used to express an action which precedes another action. So there are two actions done by the same agent. For example, having done action A, he does action B. And the action A takes a katva or a liyap pratyaya. Liyap is, I will tell you what is the difference between these two. And it is again an avayam. So if the dhatu is preceded by an upsarga, then liyap is used. So if both the root and the suffix are set, then e is added between the root and the suffix. And katva pratyaya is set, and after removing the it letters, only twa remains. No guna because ka is it. So that is all the information. That's why these it letters are very important. There are, like what will happen, and whether it is a guna, vriddhi, and many other things, right? Liya pratyaya is anit, and after removing the it letters, only ya remains. So again here, ta is because here pa is a it letter, right? So then again, the ta is added before a short ending vowel because in liya pratyaya because pa is it. There are so many rules. It will just confuse you. I will just mention these two to see the importance of the it letters, right? So if pa is an it letter, then ta is added before a short ending vowel in the lip pratyaya. And we'll see some examples of this. So let me just give you a couple of examples. For example, pat plus twa, ka goes away. So pat plus twa. Now, this is a set and this is a set. So e will be added and you will have patitwa, having read, having studied. Now, if you add a suffix, if you have a suffix, prefix pra plus pat, then you cannot add katwa. Then you have to add liya. So these are the difference between, like they mean the same thing, like two actions are performed. But if there is a prefix, then instead of katwa, you will use liya. So pra plus pat plus liya. So only ya remains. Pra plus pat plus ya. So you have prapatya, having recited loudly. The pra as means having recited loudly. So patitva aham udyanam gacchami. Having studied, patitva, having studied, aham udyanam gacchami. I am going to the garden, or I go to the garden. Prapatya pustakam sa kridati. Having read the book loudly, she plays. So this kinds of thing, like having done one action, you are doing another action. And liya will be used when there is a prefix. There will be no guna because this is a ka is a kit here, and since if ta is a it, then we will come to that example. So just some more examples. They're very simple. Annam khaditva. Khad was a set. This is also set, so e is added. Having eaten food, he plays. Udyane kriditva vegena dhavati. Having played, kriditva, having played in the garden, he runs fast. Marge dhavitva sa patiti. Dhav again is a set dhatu. Having ran on the path, marge, saptami vibhakti ekavachanam, she falls. Now look here, now I will give you an example where there is no guna. Kra. It is an anit dhatu. So first there is no e agama and there will be no guna. So it will be kritva. It won't be kartva. Like this ra will not take a guna here. So karyam kritva shete. Having done the work, he sleeps. No guna. Then gam, gatva. Now ma changes to a ta, right? Gatva. Vidyalayam paktva pustakam, but this is an irregular root, form. Having gone to the school, he reads the book. Annam paktva. Remember this, you have paktum, so same way, paktva. Mata aparnam agachat. Having cooked the food, mother went to the shop. So pach is paktva, gam gatva, kra kritva, dhavitva, kriditva, khaditva. I think I'm going to end the, we'll cover this in the next class. So, any other questions? Okay, then. Let me see if there's anything in the chat. No. Okay. So I'm going to review this in the next class. Like these are too much. There was a lot of new material, so we will review it again.
Yeah, a lot of people have power outage, Kumudji.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that is the problem because
yeah.
they're barely making. Where are you? Are you in Canada?
I'm in Peter. Somehow, so far we didn't have any power outrage or anything here.
Where are you?
Milpitas.
Oh, Milpitas. Oh, okay. Yeah, we are in Pleasanton and we had almost 2 days of power outage. Just got back.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I know a number of my friends, like they're out till Friday. Like it happened yesterday until Friday, they have no power.
Oh my God, that's too much. Yeah, it is true. Yeah. Yeah.
And this is like my daughter, and their school was closed because there was no power. So, it's a mess.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, it's we are so used to iPhone, iPad, all that stuff that which we didn't have before when you and I were growing up. So, yeah, it's not fun anyway, So, yeah, anyway, that might be the reason people are kind of still trying to get everything together. Yeah. But thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Hi, Lichi, are you in Hawaii now?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
The weather is really nice. Yesterday raining, but today is 81 degrees.
Oh.
Yeah, it's only 6 o'clock now, so which is good. Yeah.
So are you on Big Island, right? Where are you?
No, I'm in Oahu.
Okay.
So all the classes I'm just taking from here because I won't be home till April 26th. So yeah.
They're all recorded, so it doesn't,
Yeah, it is true. It's true. It just kind of. I think I'm kind of confused, but I think eventually.
There is a lot of new material, lots of rules, and
heaven now. It's like more than before we learn. Much more.
Yeah.
Kumudji, what is that picture behind you?
This picture?
Huh.
That is the Lord Dakshinamurti. He is he represents Lord Shiva as a teacher.
Oh.
Yeah, he's called Dakshinamurti.
I've
I
never,
don't know,
yeah.
like there is an ashram, Swami Dayananji's ashram in Pennsylvania, Salisbury, and that is
Yeah.
the main Vigra. So this picture is from that Vigra.
Can you show it to me bigger? Because I'm Jain and I've never,
Yeah,
you
like
know.
this is.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And he is the teacher of.
This is Shiva as a teacher.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
So this
Okay.
form is like Shiva as a teacher, and this is Dakshinamurti. Like he taught the Sanadi, the Sanant Kumaras, yeah.
Good. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I was looking at it. I said, because I know kind of Shiva, Krishna.
Yeah, this
Ram.
is, you don't see. I mean, many temples you won't see this Vigra, like this form of Lord Shiva. But since the ashram was a teaching school, so that's why the this murti.
Okay, interesting. Good. Thank you.
Alright.
Goodbye and good night.
Goodbye.
See you.
Good night.
Good night. Yeah.
Hi, Kamuji. I missed a lot of classes again because of school and a lot of things going on. My dog also had surgery.
Oh,
He
poor
tore
thing.
the ligament in his knee, so he had to have surgery for that. So I missed a lot in the beginning, and then I caught up, and then I started missing again. So I will attend the next few classes till the end, and then I will start studying the whole thing all over again.
Yeah,
So-
like Geeta, like these 3 classes, which is on the suffixes, like they have nothing to, like you need to know the roots and all, but they really you don't need to have much background, but this is a topic in itself. Right. And again, since the classes are recorded, you can, watch them at your own leisure, like there's no rush, right? Take
Yes.
your time. And as I wrote to you, if you have any questions, even when the classes end, I would be very happy to answer them.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and also like for each class, there is a homework. And so, it will give you some practice, and it takes time. There is so much to, and then when I'm only like touching the, just a little bit. It's just, so I don't want to make it too complex. It's just more like an introduction to get, some feel for the language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you so much and you teach so well. It's so interesting to hear you explain everything.
Thank you. Yeah, I tried because usually Sanskrit is a very dry, right? Like it's just, like
grammar is always dry, right?
Yeah,
Even
grammar of any
grammar
language is very dry, but Sanskrit grammar is, because there's just so many, rules and exceptions. So and people just get this thing. And personally, I don't think it is, there are them, but like you don't have to remember that, you just have to be aware of them, and slowly, when you see them often, then it's not that difficult.
Yeah.
It just like, I was just a student like you all, but it took me 15, 16 years to, I kept at it because I was just fascinated by
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know you want to take a break after this course, but will you be doing any other courses, and how will you come to know about
No, I'm not going to cover any more grammar, because just covering rules, because now like the basic I have covered, right? So it's more of an extension. Like you did the Krit suffixes, now it will be tadita, there will be more suffixes. But the basic, the thing, so the basics I have to. So what I want to do, if I plan a next, is to really like either do a Gita verse, one verse at, and thorough, or just do stories. Initially, I would like to do just stories because that's more interesting. Gita has, another side to it, because there's more deeper meanings to it, right?
Yes.
So I was just thinking, and concentrate more on reading, because students tend not to read it. You know,
Mm.
like they will just glance it and not. So one has to be a little more comfortable with the language that
Mm.
you are able to at least read simple stories, you
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
then read it with Sandhi so that you understand it, you
Right.
know, like so that's what I want to come, because, you know, this is more than enough grammar. Like if you understand and know this much grammar, I would say 90% of the Gita verses you can do. But you have to build your word bank.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
you have to know all
Vocabulary
the
is important.
because even if you do Sandhi, if you don't know the meaning,
Right.
you know, so it all goes, you know, yeah. So that's what I'm thinking if I do it. But right now, I've you know, I want to take a little bit break, because
Yeah.
it takes a lot of time to think and how to, you know, prepare it. So yeah.
So how will we come to know if you plan to do any
I'm
future
going to send
courses?
again a note on the and also I will ask, you know, what would the students who have taken this course, what would they like to, you know,
Okay.
based on their feedback, like they would like more grammar, or what would they like if so based on your feedback, actually, I'm going to.
So you'll keep the same WhatsApp group then?
I think so. Like it depends. I maybe just a more smaller and more, you know, more people who want to spend more time to the. Many people might think it's just too much, right?
No, I would be interested if you do any other courses.
Yeah, then it will be more interactive. Like I will ask, you know, you read, you know, couple of line every students, like go round by round, like, you know, so I want to listen. No, that kind of like a more group discussion kind of.
Right.
There is more question answer, you know, like more interactive. Yeah. So with this introduction to grammar, introducing more grammar, I don't think will help. It will just confuse, because what it right now I've got, it is so much even to remember all the rules which I have covered. Like if you can remember all that, that's good enough. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Okay, Geeta. Bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.